Hey, welcome back to Single Car Garage. Thanks for coming back. What we're working on today is the 1968 C10. I've got the wiring harness to put in. I've got all those windows put in. I do have a little bit of adjusting to do. I don't like the way they roll up. To be honest with you, I don't like those wingless windows. If you have air conditioning, it's okay. But man, I love nothing more than opening that back window and those two wings and your bottom vents in those old pickup trucks. Driving down the road, unless you get stuck in traffic, you don't get hot. But I definitely don't like not having a wing on those windows. I don't even think it looks good. I was talking to a couple of buddies of mine, and they were talking about how it cleans it up, and I just personally don't like it. So that's where we're at. So what we're working on is the 68 C10 wiring harness. I told you we was going to start it the other day. Here's how I imagine it's going today. I'm going to take the old wiring harness out and mark all the plugs that I take off. This truck came to me in pieces, so some of it's already taken apart, but we'll figure it out. Get my table organized, my work area organized for everything I'm going to need. And get my template cut for my new fuse panel. I've get all that done today. Next video, what I'll do is hook up the interior part of the wiring and get it ran and get it all taped and everything. Then I'll go to the engine compartment. I don't have any engine. I don't have lights. I don't have light buckets. So what I'll do is run the wires to where they belong and then wait till we start assembling it. As I told you all, the guy came to me on this truck, wanted to get it done. It was a family truck. Didn't have the money to go to these top-notch body shops. And I agreed to take it on to work on it. And I've had it for probably 3 years now, longer than I wanted to. Originally, he wanted me to paint the cab, the front fenders, and the hood, give it back to him, and he was going to finish it. As we got into this project, it turned into, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? So I guess what I'm doing is the whole truck. So I'm kind of backing up because if I'd known I was going to do the whole truck, I would have pre-assembled everything, then painted it. I painted this thing a year ago, and now what I'm doing is scratching it up, working on it. So it's probably going to be back in the paint booth for a day or two to get it straightened out. But it needs everything put on it. Underneath the hood. So once I get the dash deal done, then we'll go and run all the wires under the hood where they belong, and then we'll go run the wires to the back, which I don't have back fenders or anything for it either. We'll just run them and tie them up and leave them there till it comes that time. Then what I want to do is get everything assembled, hood, fenders. I've got it all on there right now, a little bit loose. Get it all 100% assembled. Get it ready for the engine, get the interior done. Then we can drop in the engine and worry about wiring it later. So, not, again, as I'll tell you all in many videos, start with a plan and know what you want. And, shame on me for not asking Jason what all he thought he wanted me to do. I think at the time all he wanted was that painted. And then as we get into it, he wanted more and more done. If I'd have known I was going to do the whole thing, I would have done it a lot different. If I'm doing a whole car, of course, I approach it a lot different. But hey, let's get over here and see what we got going on. Now, I've already taken this fuse box out. And there's the part that went through the firewall, and you can tell how small it is. This is the original wiring harness. And that's the back of the new wiring harness. As you can tell, it's quite a bit bigger. And there's the inside fuse panel of both boxes, the new one and the old one. So as you noticed, I've already got the old one pulled out. There is all your wires from your old harness, and I marked them as I unplugged them where they go, so that might help me out. Pretty self-explanatory when you get to the new wiring harness. But I love doing this because it helps me out. One, that wiring harness is usable for someone that don't have the money to invest into a brand new one. And so if they go to hook it up, they'll know where everything goes. And two, if I get the little bumfoozled on this new one, I can go back and look at my old one and see how it hooked up, and that'll help me work through any problems. Now I got my workstation all lined up. There's my rear body, front light kit, courtesy light kit. This is an accessories kit. This is a jumper kit, instrument cluster, alternator, dash kit, ignition, new dimmer, lights, fuses, and engine kit. And then over here I have all my instructions and my wiring diagram, which I know nothing about. I'll just be lost. I'll figure it out. Now this wiring left in here is old stereo wiring. I will cut it out before I start on it. I've got a couple of cleanup things to do in here, but other than that, we're ready to start on that firewall. Now this is my firewall template, and I've got to apply it to this firewall and cut out our hole that big. Okay, I've got that trimmed up and I've got it fitting in there. I need to do a couple things just to make it a little prettier. Now, according to these templates for the firewall modification, when I started reading, it tells me right there that 68 through 72 GMC trucks accept this harness, which it accepts it, but these little tabs right here, the centering tabs, they won't fit inside this. So that's why I had to modify this. I cut 1/8 of an inch off each side, and what I've got to get is a metal rasp, and I need to round this one and this one just a little bit better. I don't have anything to do it with today, so I'm going to go to town in the morning, get a metal rasp, make this just a little rounder right here, a little rounder right here. Then those will fit right in there. We'll have it bolted down and we'll have our harness in. Hey, while you're working, be careful and don't close up one of your connections in a door, or step on it or break it. And then when you're cutting the firewall, always have some water. A little bit of our insulation caught on fire, but we're okay. Now I think I'm going to have to cut off about this much of the insulation when I put that unit back in there. So, but right now I'm going to get a metal rasp and round this off, round that off, clean it up just a little bit so it'll look a lot more professional on the outside. And then we'll have our box in. So from box in, then we'll go to hooking up everything under the dash. So there we go. First part of wiring harness is we set up our table and got all our parts all lined out, everything where we need it. We came here and took out our old fuse panel and all our wires. We marked all our wires on our old wiring harness just so we'll know where they go. Somebody in the future might use it because it's a good wiring harness. And plus, if we get stuck, this particular fuse box has a lot of extra wires on it, and we can refer back if we have any questions. We shouldn't, because we have a diagram over there. We had to cut the firewall, which according to instructions we didn't have to, but according to it fitting correctly and flush, we needed to trim it up a little bit. I've got it trimmed up, but what I've got to do is get a metal rasp so I can round out the corners a little bit so it'll fit a little bit better. Those little tabs on the new fuse box, they'll fit through there and then fit up tight. So that's what I'm headed to do, is go get that metal rasp so I can round that out and tighten them up and be done with it. We can start running our wires on the underneath. So day one, wires out, firewall cut. We'll be putting our fuse box in, our workstation all set up, and day two, we'll be hooking up everything underneath the dash. So, hey, Thanks for stopping by today. Thanks for hanging out with us on this first leg of wiring this 68 pickup truck. And this is video 1. Stay tuned for video 2.